pay to see in contact sport. The fax is flooded in. No, violence is not what people go to see. It's great competition. Nigel and Greg of Queensland. Gina Hipworth says, I pay my money to abuse the umpire and he gets paid to take it. Any violence is just a bonus. Potts of Queensland, tough luck with the name there, AC. Of course it is. Taking violence out of contact sport would be like taking sex out of chances. Boring and stupid. And Rick Boyd of Victoria says, yes, in fact, at the last boxing match I went to, things got out of hand and a soccer game broke out. We'll get that joke carbon dated and get back to you. What do our panel think? Let's meet them first of all. To my right, Rex Mossopin. To my far right, and to everybody's far right, the Doug Anthony All-Stars. And to my left, Debbie Sculler, Russ Spillane, Crackers Keenan, and Lex the Swine Marinus. Now, Rex, traditionally we start with you, so Crackers, what do you think?
Well, people turn up to have a look at the great players, the Peter Dacos was kicking his goal, the Malcolm Blight's taking his mark, and then all of a sudden you get down to watch dirty, rotten Ronnie Andrews belt a couple of blokes and a bit of blood. And it's sort of all just part of the game. I turned up and watched the rugby league there a couple of years ago, and I liked Sam Bacco, whatever his name was. I know his cage hadn't been counted, but hated, but by gee, it was a good game.
Yeah, OK, but is that what people go to see, Rex?
Yeah, violence.
Well, I reckon beauty's in the eye of the beholder. For those that like to have non-violence, they go and watch AFL games.
Is that an original thought?
That's fantastic. They go and watch AFL games. And for those that like a bit of violence, they go and watch rugby union. Rugby league has calmed down considerably, except for the state of origin, which everybody, as you will know from your own experience there on the ground, I think the spectators up there were out to get you on that occasion. You were there.
It was sheer popularity, Rex.
Yes, I know.
Rex, I think the fluff's coming out of your head there.
Is that right?
Debbie.
Thanks very much, Deb.
While you're here, Debbie. While you're here, I'm sure we're very interested to hear what you have to say.
Well,
You're sure? I just want to make sure you are sure. Yeah, no, I think this is the horrible sort of stereotyping that I'm really sick of about sports fans, that everyone goes for the violence. I've been going to football for years, and there's always a hard core of yahoos that cheer and carry on when there's a bit of violence. But remember, the people who make the most noise aren't necessarily in the majority.
Oh, well, the newly reformed Doug Anthony All-Stars, the new Christy Minstrels they seem going to become. Your feeling on this?
I think both sides are right on this topic, Andrew. We agree with everyone.
Absolutely. Although I would like to see more sex in contact sports. I think Merv Hughes has been holding up his end, but I think there are a lot of other teams, especially in football, that could be pushing a lot harder in those scrums.
Paul?
I feel like if I'm going to be totally honest about this, then I must express what's really in my heart at the moment. And
what's in your heart, Paul?
I have this strange attraction towards Debbie, and I'm not quite sure what it is.
No. Everybody, just work this one through, Paul. Work this one through.
Don't tell them to calm down. Tell me to calm down.
I know what you're feeling, Debbie.
Come on.
It can't be worse than kissing Rex.
Come on, everybody, just take your seats. I don't think... Lex?
It's big for you, Deb.
Well, I was going to say that it's absurd to pay and go and see...
Hang on, please. The swine is speaking.
It's absurd to go and pay and see violence when you can get that sort of thing at home. Which is where violence belongs, incidentally.
Not on the football field.
Not on the football... Well, you only played for the violence.
I played all right for 10 minutes. I wasn't getting a kick. You go to biff. That's fair enough. A bit of blood.
That's right. But having said that, I can't help expressing now what I feel towards Paul.
Yeah? Which is what, Lex?
Well, Paul to me is like a dove. Free. He's a free...
You're warped.
No, just the way he expressed those feelings towards Debbie.
Feel free. And damn it,
what about condoms?
While we're at it...
Anyone who can feel that towards Debbie must have a lot of heart.
Everyone put their hand up who wants to see Paul, Debbie and Lex play Nude Twister on the Decor. Yeah!
Look, I think we're just getting away from the central... We're getting away from the central thrust of the question here.
Yeah, I think violence is sounding more attractive all the time, actually.
Oh, don't get that.
to a quote here from our good friends Fiona and Terry Lynch in Victoria, who say there is too much sport getting in the way of violence. Now, this is an angle maybe that you haven't considered. Is it a fact, maybe, that we don't have enough violence in sport at all?
No.
The video, it's not violence out. It really has.
Well, why has the league's had so much success advertising with the Tina Turner campaign? Because it presents that nice, clean-cut, family, athletic image that everybody likes. If they wanted to get more people to the grounds, then they'd show the old Les Boyd tackles and the sort of stuff they keep telling Channel 9 to stop showing.
Well, the video replay really took the violence out of rugby league. The concerted violence, as the game used to be played, with a lot of head-high tackles and that sort of thing. The income of the emergence of the video replay immediately stopped the... except unless you were an idiot and realised that, you know, couldn't contain yourself. That put a stop to it almost immediately.
But look, I'm sorry, Rich, I think you're being a bit hypocritical here, in that essentially violence was your catchword, that was your middle name.
Biff.
No,
Biff, yeah, Rex Biff.
I was only ever sent off 7 times in 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah, but one of those was for 5 years stretch of Pentridge. 5 years stretch of Pentridge.
No. And they were never anything other than punching offences.
But why do they use...
You were a clean player, were you?
Why do they use movies like Rocky and Van Damme and that sort of thing to motivate the players if they're not interested in violence? I ask you that.
That's although...
The players, we're talking about whether that's what the spectators come to
love
see.
it.
Well, they're all relatives, aren't
Well,
they?
how come Aussie rules people always say so sort of patronising about rugby league? Oh, it's only violence. I mean, they're sort of... The impression I get from most southern staters is that they're not interested in violence. They're interested in good, clean sport. And, you know, and I spend most of my time trying to convince those sort of people that there's a lot of skill in rugby league as well. And I just get sick to death of the media playing up the violent side of it as if that's all there is. I mean, coaches don't sit around before a game. Yeah, but coaches don't sit around before games, do they? And say,
yes,
who can biff who the hardest?
There was one that did.
Oh,
The
but
Tories seemed to smack
now.
their faces, didn't they?
Oh, well, yeah.
Have you ever been sent out?
What do you mean sent out?
Sent out to knock a bloke over in the grand final or anything like that? I have. It was good fun.
That only the unskilled players were sent out to do that.
Well, I couldn't complain. It's the only way I would have got a go. Side of the premiership team.
I'm not arguing, mate.
The Doug Anthony All-Stars, you call yourselves entertainers, and yet a lot of your act is violence. You perhaps know something about the public that we don't.
But no one pays to go and see them.
No way. We've changed now. You've really changed our way of thinking, and I must say we're very sorry about all the violence we've committed. We believe that our act sort of became a bit like a boxing match. You know, boxing actually started out as chess, and now, of course, you don't even see the pieces there anymore. You just see the underpants and the gloves, and a guy dressed as an elderly car parking attendant. We're very sad and very sorry about what's happened, and I must say that they'll be just kissing and all that sort of stuff, and we'll be giving Lex a big hug later, that's for sure.
Well, I think...
You're fairly apologetic about that. I mean, your act is a fairly violent act.
We've stopped that.
I mean, you chilled pigeons here tonight. I mean, that was disgusting. The children would have been appalled at that.
Yeah. Can we just replay that?
Rex, Doug's, Legs, Crackers, Debbie, I think there's a lot of repressed emotions here tonight. I think there is something happening that we're not dealing with. Would everybody please stand up? I think a group hug is called for. Come on, everybody. Come on. Come on.
What is this group?
Not the ribs, not the ribs. Now, we'll be back next week, everybody, when the Controversy Corner topic is, in fact, up to you. We'd like to know what topic would you like to see debated on Controversy Corner. Our fax number, as always, is 029503466. That's 029503466. Next week, we'll be back with Wendy Botha and Alex Watson. Please, for those of you in Sydney, the ACF Conservation Summit featuring Ben Elton is on at the Enmore Theatre next Friday night, the 29th. That's about all. Don't forget the chops, it blends, it grinds, it slices. No, I'm not going to kiss him again. I've had more than enough of that.
Crackers, let's get
We'll see you next week. Until then, Australia, good night. I love you all.